Okay, my name's Zakashi, guys, and I'm going to be bringing you guys through for our best teams and equipment for the new Ultra Margin Vegeta. There's going to be so many people summoning on this guy, and this guy is actually absolutely good. He's got a lot of things going for him, man. His team is going for him, his own kit is going for him, and his animations, his ink art is actually good as well. So he's got that going for him too. The only sad thing is that he's releasing right before the festival, so people that might really want him might be hesitant on spending on him. But I'm not gonna lie, I know the temptation gets most of the player base, and in this case it's definitely getting me. Nothing I didn't expect. Even before the fact it was Margin Vegeta, if he was going to drop, I said I would summon on him. I need at least one copy. But for you guys that do have him, as I am recording this prior to his release, hopefully this video is super useful in helping you build him in the best way possible so you can get the best results when running him in PvP. Don't want to hold you guys up any longer, let's get into this. So here we are, we're going to be starting with Majin Buu Saga. Just to put it out there, for the teams I do show, there's no order. It's just teams that you can run depending on what you do have for the new Ultra Margin Vegeta. So here we have Majin Buu Saga, and you can see it's very Saiyan orientated, and that's because I'm prioritizing the two Saiyans that are on Majin Buu Saga that are easily the best. We're gonna have the new Ultra Margin Vegeta, so that's why the Angel Vegeta is there. Just pretend he's the new Ultra Margin Vegeta. He's also yellow. Then we also have Fusing Super Vegeta. Obviously the Rising Rush is super useful, and the leader slot option is going to be Ultimate Gohan. He's the best unit on Majin Buu Saga until maybe this Majin Vegeta releases. Ultimate Gohan is great. So you're gonna have two endurances, two units that can cancel buffs. Majin Vegeta doesn't cancel buffs from Rising Rushes, and then Fusing Super Vegeta is that heavy Rising Rush option, and in very many cases you'll probably be running up against Ultra Margin Vegeta. So you have Fusing Super Vegeta because he can just rush through Ultra Margin Vegeta's life and nullify endurance, which is actually super useful. Obviously this is not the only team that you can build, but in this case I'm double Zenkai buffing Vegito, and then I have a single Zenkai buff for Majin Vegeta, but you can go another way about it. So let's go to the character list and just show you what other options that you have, just in the scenario you don't want to build it just like me. So what I'm going to tell you to do, turn on Sparking, and then Ultra, then I'm going to go to Episode, go to Majin Buu Saga. Now I'm going to start the characters I don't have, is really just Ultimate Gohan. He's going to be one of the staples on the team. You can run it without him though. Don't think just because I built it a certain way that you have to have Ultimate Gohan. Now with this new Ultra Margin Vegeta, you can definitely run the team without Ultimate Gohan, but if you do have him, he's almost a must run, you know? Cool, let's go into the blues. So the blues, you have Fusing Super Vegeta, but you can also have Buu Bros. Buu Bros are actually a super good factor that now they got a Zenkai. Their Zenkai ability is a bit strange, yeah, but you can see it targets Element Blue characters with Taxon family and Element Blue characters with Vegeta clan. So you got two options for a Zenkai buff, which is actually pretty interesting, but the buffs are lower since they can fit more. Just bear that in mind. But yeah, they can be an option that you can run, and you can also put them as a bench. And then obviously I already spoke about Fusing Super Vegeta. Those are your two main options. You can also have Kid Buu. Don't sleep on Kid Buu, but it depends on how you want to run your team. Now what I feel about Majin Buu Saga is that because it wasn't originally a team up until maybe this year, a lot of the Z abilities of Majin Buu characters do not revolve around Majin Buu Saga at all. So the way it's formed, you would have to consider the Z abilities and what your core is going to be based on how the team's going to synergize, you know. You need to think about that. So Kid Buu, for example, he has 35% to regeneration power for opponent. There's nothing about Majin Buu Saga, which is a shame. Even his Zenkai ability, it's nothing about Majin Buu Saga. So bear that in mind when you're building the team. Going forward, you can see over here, we've got in the greens, Evil Majin Buu. Evil Majin Buu over here, he's actually a super good option, I'm not gonna lie. His tanking ability is insane. He's just aged so well. It's so dumb. For 1% sparking, they cooked with that one, man. Evil Majin Buu is a good option. You can Zenkai buff him with Fat Buu. Going into the purples, Ultimate Gohan's gonna be your best bet, and there's literally nobody else if we're being real. Going into the yellows, you can run this Buu Hercule assist unit as a support unit. They're not bad, but I'd recommend if you only have the 9 stars or higher. Free to play 18 is an option that people actually do run. She's actually a good support as well. Outside of that, we got the reds, and we've got Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks, who's going to be your best pick because he has endurance and he has combo potential and advanced recovery. 3v1 potential is actually really high. Goes type neutral as well a lot of the time. And then Shin as well, that's somebody that you can also consider. Now obviously if I was to build like a different team and I was to like form it in a different manner, it would be slightly different. So let's just assume obviously the videos for Majin Vegeta, let's put him on the leader slot, right? In this case, I'd be changing the whole core of the team. So let's say I didn't have Ultimate Gohan, then I might want to run it based on kind of powerful opponents slash regen. So you can see now the formation of the team is completely different, but I can still build it up to be similar. So you can see I can put Boo-Tanks there. I could put Nail there because he's regen. Debura is an option as well to Zenkai buff. I believe he put Zenkai buffs Majin Buu Saga. Then I could have Fat Boo over here. You can see that works now. The team is prioritized on the bench, but because Ultra Majin Vegeta is on the leader slot, he's going to get everything anyways. So it's just some things that you can consider. Obviously, depending on what you have, just consider the way you're going to build it, the Z abilities, and you want it to synergize the best as possible. This is just another example I've showed you. I was even thinking about having it hybrid Saiyan on the bench. So you would have Ultimate Gohan here, then you would have Gotenks over here, and then you could actually take this off, and I'll show you what I mean. I could go to purple. Let's just say hypothetically I'm using this guy. Z ability goes towards hybrid Saiyan, and then the Zenkai ability for hybrid Saiyan, but it's going to be Zenkai buffing Ultimate Gohan. Then in the red, I can go for another double Zenkai buff with this Trunks, and where's the other Trunks? Heat Dome Trunks. So you can see there, now we got double Zenkai buff for Gotenks, one for Ultimate Gohan, and then obviously Ultra Majin Vegeta is on the leader slot, so it works that way as well. So there are like Saiyan, for example, I'm going to show you in the next bit, it's mainly Saiyans. There are Saiyan Zenkai buffers and Z abilities, but there aren't many that are really good for Majin Vegeta. Like this guy here, his Z ability is okay, it's not the best. You can run him if you wanted to run him as a Zenkai buff. His Z ability is not the best, but his Zenkai buff is a Zenkai buff, you know, it's not going to change. So he's an option as well, but it's because his Z ability is specifically for yellow, so it doesn't actually mesh the best if you're running other characters, you know, they're not going to get the Z ability, which is a shame. But it's something you might want to consider nonetheless, depending on what you have. Hopefully they do Zenkai the Angel Vegeta, like this actual one. That would be good. But yeah, those are just some examples of Majin Buu Saga and how you want to run it. Just depends on what pieces you have and how you want to go about it. But overall, it's a very good team, and you can see there's different options that you can run if you want to build the team. Next up, we got Saiyans. Saiyans is absolutely stacked as well. But I want to emphasize, I've put G4 on the team because this specific version of the team is built around Fusion Warriors, but it's still Saiyans. But G4 is getting heavily countered. He's already got to deal with Turles and Triku working together on sagas from the movies, and now he's got to deal with Ultra Majin Vegeta himself, who can snipe him, which is very, very dangerous. So I just want to emphasize that when you're building a Saiyan team, and you might want to use G4, because I know a lot of you guys do have him. I've got him down 14 stars, so I know how that's going to feel. You know, he might not be the best option. Until this, you could very much expect him to decline because of Ultra Majin Vegeta's release. He's actually a good Vegeta unit. Anyways, this team here, you can see I'm double Zenkai buffing Fusion Super Vegeta, banking on the fact that his Rising Rush is going to be super effective. It's the one thing that can get through Ultra Majin Vegeta. Like I said earlier, he can cancel buffs for blue cards, Awakened Arts, Ultimate Arts, but not Rising Rushes. So he's unlike Ultimate Gohan because of the Rising Rush. So Fusion Super Vegeta can get through him and anybody else who nullifies endurance off of a Rising Rush. G4's there, and there's a HP buff because of SV if you have SV 14 stars. So that's good to note. And then obviously we just got Ultra Majin Vegeta on the leader slot. Of course, you could easily give him a Zenkai buff with Bardock, just putting that out there. So you got this one here, Bardock, and then if you wanted to just get one Zenkai buff for everybody, that also works as well, just so you can, you know, be aware of that. There's also this guy here. I believe he's Zenkai buff Saiyans. Yeah, his Z ability is some family in GT, and Ultra Majin Vegeta wouldn't get that. But in this case, because he's on the leader slot, because we're not running Majin Buu Saga, you could actually give him a double Zenkai buff very easily. So that's something you might want to consider. But let's go to the character list and consider what you could be running if you wanted to specifically run Saiyan. Because like I said in the Majin Buu Saga team section, this isn't the only team you can run. There's other variations, so I'm going to cut out some options that I think are good. First, let's go to who I don't have. So Ultra Broly, if you've got the plat for him, 8 stars, so 2 copies, you can definitely run him together. But then you should make the bench powerful opponent Saiyans, so you should consider somebody like Turles or Super Baby 2. So you have Indestructible, you've got the endurance on Ultra Majin Vegeta, then you've also got Broly's ability to break combos is super useful. We've also got Nappa and Vegeta, the revival layer there is super useful that you could add on, you know. That would definitely be a good asset. So now you've got revival and endurance. Outside of that, maybe Red Broly, but again, I've already given you some better options. But let's go through the whole list first. So there's a lot of Saiyans. This game is obviously Saiyan based. Dragon Ball, man. Anyways, if we're looking at the blue options, Fusing Super Vegeta, I already spoke about him. Bombku, Boo Bros, I spoke about them. Bardock and Goku could actually be a genuine option. I'm not even joking. I've been using them recently. Obviously, depends on how many stars you have, but more so in November when they get a platinum equipment, which has already been announced. They're 100% getting one in November. So when they do get their platinum equipment, it's going to make a big impact in the game. Outside of that, most of the blues are just washed, man. I'll be so real. Going into greens, people have been trying to use Pycon. I don't recommend Dragon Fist if I'm being real. Outside of that, the greens are not that great. Godku, he has endurance, so you might want to use him. If you did summon for him lots, you'd have to have him very high starred and have the best equipment. But again, I wouldn't actually recommend a green based on what I'm seeing. They're not looking the best. But the purples, G4, I mentioned him earlier. Broly, Nappa, and Vegeta, those are some options that you could run. You don't really want to mix and match him with a yellow because he is yellow, but Super Baby 2 is somebody you could run. Gogeta Blue, somebody you could run. There are a lot of Zenkai buff options that you could build them around and it'll make the team work, you know. Going into reds as well, not really good option. I would recommend maybe Broly, and like that's about it. It's very weird when it comes to building, you know, with Saiyans, because a lot of their Z abilities don't even align. Saiyans is such a broad tag because they all belong in different sections. Like Broly's the Saiyan, but he's from the movies. And then we have like Saiyans that don't even buff tags. Then we have Saiyans that buff specific tags because of their arc. There's so many ways you can go about it. But just off those guys that I mentioned, those guys, if you have any of those and you want to build around them with Ultra Majin Vegeta, it could definitely work out. I do recommend it, so just keep that in mind. Alright, so we've got Vegeta Clan as the last team I'm going to be putting out for the new Ultra Majin Vegeta. Something I want to emphasize for Vegeta Clan is that there's not many options, and this is not the best team in my opinion, but it's an option because the Boo Bro Zenkai is actually valuable. You could use them alongside Fusing Super Vegeta and Ultra Majin Vegeta. I already showed this similar team with the Saiyan section and even the Majin Buu Saga section. So just adding Buu Saga, it's basically Buu Saga. This is basically Buu Saga. But if you wanted to make it like pure Vegeta Clan and not tie in, so let's first change the tag. Let's find the Vegeta Clan tag. Where is it? Oh, my eye's gonna work. There we go. What I would recommend out of every option that you have here, the two that you could add on easily would be Nappa and Vegeta, because they have the revival, so that's going to be super useful. You get another element out of that. And if you have them potentially 14 stars, Evoken. Outside of all of the Vegeta Clan options, I would not recommend any of them, besides from what I've already got here. So Fusing Super Vegeta, and we also have Boo Bros, Gogeta Blue as well, Fusing Gogeta Blue. But do you really want to run two yellows? I don't know if you do, which is why I haven't propped them, but they are obviously a good option. I'm not trying to downplay them. I'm just saying if Ultra Majin Vegeta is yellow, you might not want to go for two yellows, but they are obviously a good option. But yeah, Revival, Nappa and Vegeta as Vegeta Clan option, and then outside of that, Evoken if you have them super high starred. Outside of that, it's just not looking good for Vegeta Clan. This is just an example of what I have. Of course, you can mix up the Z abilities to make it work for you, depending on what units you're adding, if you run Nappa and Vegeta or if you're running Evoken. But besides from that, I'd say keep it similar to this. This team actually works, especially because you are protecting Ultra Majin Vegeta as a yellow by using blues, and then Boo Bros also reverse elements to protect you from greens. So there is props to using this specific team, and it can very much work if you are a Vegeta Clan main. Beast, man. You guys might be back. You guys are back. I'm not gonna lie. Alright, so we're going into equipments, and this is the first one I want to show you. It's a super good one. Defiant Gohan. You can see you get a bit of everything. Base health up to 15%. Double defenses up to 30%. Then you also get strike attack up to 25% and blast attack, so double offenses. It's for Majin Buu Saga specifically, and you can get this from the Ultimate Equipment Collection for Majin Buu Saga Z #2. Now this one here is for the Vegeta Clan mains, and the Vegeta Clan mains are going to love this specifically because it gives them extra special moves. Special move is super good. So you can see you get 10% for the special move on this equipment, and that's good for Ultra Majin Vegeta because he actually can get up to, I believe, 60% special move off doing blue cards. So that's obviously going to be super useful. You get the offenses, the defenses, and it's just great for Vegeta Clan, you know. It's the pures who are running Vegeta Clan. There's not much more to explain. You can get this from the dual coin exchange shop. This one here is actually pretty good for Majin Buu Saga mains. If you're running Majin Buu Saga, you're going to want to get this one. You see you can get base strike defense and base blast defense on the first slot. Then you can get pure offenses of both on the slot 2 and slot 3, and you also get defenses extras for Majin Buu Saga, but specifically for Saiyans. So even if you're running 3 Majin Buu Saga units, you get that because of the requirements, but it can only be put onto Saiyans. So, but this is for Ultra Majin Vegeta, so it's going to fit on him. Get this from the dual coin exchange shop. If you're running Bardock and Goku, I do recommend this one specifically because you don't have to think about the whole team. You can just think about Bardock and Goku being on the team and you can get special move out of it, 12% at that, which is more than the other equipments. You get the double offenses just like with most equipments, and you get defenses. It's specifically for Saiyans, so it's going to work on Ultra Majin Vegeta, but this is for the guys that are running specifically Saiyans. You can get it from the dual coin exchange shop. This equipment here is absolutely insane, and if you're running Majin Buu Saga, you're gonna want to farm this one. You get special move damage, ultimate damage, 12% of both. Then you get base strike attack, base blast attack, which is insane. Then you can see you get pure 10% strike attack and blast attack if battle member other than this is character episode Majin Buu Saga. Now this is the awakened version, so you need to go play a Zakashi Spacetime Rush to get the awakened version. But if you want the unawakened version, I got you right here. And it's still alright, you just get a lot of base stats, you know, for saying Majin Buu Saga. Equipment medals is where you're going to get the unawakened version. So yeah, this is going to be perfect for it. So Zenkai Ultra Spacetime Rush Shop for the awakened, you're going to need the memories, then the equipment medals for the unawakened version. And just to end off, considering I'm recording this prior to Ultra Majin Vegeta releasing, in the scenario they do release any other equipments, be sure to grind them. In most cases they're specifically tailored for Ultra Majin Vegeta, so they're going to be super useful. So be on the lookout for equipment that have awakened, and any releases that they put in the Ultimate Equipment Collection. There might even be some PvP, etc in the coming weeks, so just be aware of all of those factors that could add up to making your Ultra Majin Vegeta even better than he currently is. But yeah man, that's going to be the end of the video. Hopefully this video was useful, man. I tried my best to put together the best teams and equipments to help you guys build Ultra Majin Vegeta in the most effective way possible. If you haven't summoned, or you are going to be summoning, good luck going forward, regardless of the decision you decide to make. This unit is one to look forward to, man. But hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you haven't already, make sure to press that subscribe button. We're on this grind to 200,000 subscribers. I appreciate you guys for watching the video, man. My name is Zakashi, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one, man.